Great seeing you here again. This is a new video in our course Masterclass in Project Management. We continue with different definitions and terminology related to projects and project management. And in this video, I will talk about the benefits of project management. Of course, projects, we are interested in the benefits, and there are some elements I want to discuss here. First of all, what are the advantages of project management? Why do we want to apply project management? We're talking about the benefits, but I also want to include here some perceived disadvantages of project management, because these are things that we know that people fight with, that people have problems with, so we can turn them into advantages if we manage them properly. We have some benefits for the management and the project client. We have benefits for the project. We have benefits for the people working on the project. So these are the elements I want to discuss in this video. Let's have a look at the advantages of project management. First of all, we have an improved communication because we set up a communication plan. We deal with communications in an organized way. We identify what people need to know, when to send it, and things like that. So we take care about communication, and we know who is involved in the project. So we also know to whom we have to send what information by when. We have an optimized organization. We have a project management team that is taking care of all the planning, the organization, the progress, and so on. It leads to time saving because we are thinking about organizing the work. We are going to find out how can we do things in a better way. So we already think about what we're going to do, but we also think about what can go wrong. How do we deal with unfortunate events, or how can we find, for example, some advantages? There is a clear structure. We have an organizational chart showing who's doing what are the people involved in, and things like that. When we finish the project, during the planning, we create task descriptions or the descriptions of the activities, clearly stating who will be working on the task, what are the outcomes, what are the quality standards, what do we have to do, how much it will cost. So we have all the details about the task. And of course, with all the information, we have a better control about the work to be completed. Quality increases, also very important. And of course, there is a better visibility. If you're working on a project, projects are announced in the company, project managers are watched by the people, and you have a better visibility. Of course, better visibility. If you do a bad job, they will see who you are and, well, better do a good job, and that's very important. But once you do the job, once you realizing your goals, you will profit from that visibility. We also have to look at some perceived disadvantages and what we can do about it. First of all, we have the ramp-up time. I've seen that with projects typically when there was a sales cycle. People sell, for example, a new network to a company. The people were in contact with the salesperson. There was a very intensive contact. And then suddenly people start working on the project. People are doing things, but they don't see what's happening. So the customer doesn't know what's happening. And here we have to start communication, showing what we are doing from the first moment that we start working on the project. Don't hide your work, show it to the people, communicate. Too much focus on tools, well, that's something that can happen, and you have some people who are tool-oriented, not people-oriented. It's the same thing like a pilot in an airplane. When you focus too much on your instruments, you have to see what's happening outside. Of course, you have to control the instruments. We have to find an equilibrium between working with tools and working with the people. So the tools are providing information about the progress of the project. So don't focus too much on the tools, but apply them properly. Typically, people who are working in projects don't have the authority, or don't have a lot of authority, but it depends on the structure of the organization. So we have to see here, how can we improve the authority of the people working on the project? There is an increased complexity. We have planning to do. We have to understand how this planning works. People need training. So there is some complexity that is added, but with the correct communication, and when you deal with people by explaining what you do, you can show that that increased complexity basically is in fact helping the organization. There is an overhead. There are people planning every work. The project management team is there. It can be considered to be an overhead because they're not creating any deliverables. Nevertheless, the people who are managing the project are very important because they follow up that everything is done the way it should be. They report, they make decisions, they present issues to the people, and they propose solutions. Changing resources, well, that's something that happens. So we have people who come to the project, removed from the project. This is something which is normal because we're using the resources only when we need them. And people also think that there are additional tasks which are unnecessary. It's a topic that we have to discuss. We have to find out what is really necessary. Do we have to do all the tasks? Can we eliminate certain tasks? So we have to evaluate what is really necessary or not. Increased uncertainty, it's perceived by the people that basically we're doing everything to reduce uncertainty. We have a risk management plan. I remember one customer, and we were talking about risk management, and the customer said, we don't want to have additional risks, but it's not about adding risk. The uncertainty that we have is basically the basis for creating risk management plans and find ways how to deal with risk so that when something happens that there is no issue. We can have a look at the benefit for the management and the client. The application of project management builds credibility and rapport. There is a clear project definition and the deliverables are clearly described. The client is informed about the process, so the client exactly knows what is going on or should know what is going on. The project management team is in control of quality reviews and decision points. The client and the stakeholders are involved closely because they receive information about the status of the project. And there is the availability of historic data and lessons learned. Historic data is very important because we base our work on the things that we did before. So we have that historic data. How did we solve certain things? How did we resolve issues? How did we build that engine? Things like that. And of course, we also learn about our mistakes. We learn how to avoid issues. We learn about how to improve certain things. So lessons learned is not about the negative part, but that's also telling us what we shouldn't do and what we should do. So it gives us also an indication of best practices. Benefits for the project. Well, the project itself has some advantages. There is sufficient time for planning and preparation. Of course, it depends if we have an agile environment or a waterfall environment, but still there is time for planning and preparation, even in an agile project. The project manager is encouraged to replan and reevaluate. We review what's happening. We see what we did. Can we do it better? So this is a basic thing in projects that the project manager is constantly replanning and reevaluating what's going on. Due to the processes, we can spot risks early. And we also can ensure the client and the management that all the tasks have been completed. There is also a baseline for future trade-offs because we have the different baselines that we will create, and we can use those baselines to look into future trade-offs. And of course, we have an improved project success. It's been proven that when we apply project management, PMI-wise or following other methodologies. PMI is not a methodology, but we can see that applying project management methodology or project management processes, we have an improved project success. There are also some benefits for the people working on the project. We have we have documentation for handover. So once the project is finished, or we have new people working on the project, we have sufficient documentation so that those people can follow up very quickly. And when we provide the results to the operations department, they also have all the information about this. For the people, typically the people work within their level of competence, and they also receive on-the-job training. So when you have people in the team, young people, they will work in a team and they will get on-the-job training, so their level of competence will increase. The people have clear descriptions of their responsibilities. Working in projects creates career opportunities, and there is an improved planning, organizational communication, and other important skills that the people are learning. So that's what basically are the benefits for the people working on the project. So that's it for the different elements here, the advantages of project management. We spoke a little bit about perceived disadvantages, but it's important to understand these too. That was it for this video. We're advancing very well in this lesson. Thank you and bye-bye.